Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for having me this afternoon here. And I would like to thank you, Victoria, for this warm welcome. Uh, First of all, maybe it is a long, tiring day for you to listen to all these immigration issues and refugees issues. Um, Maybe it won't be very nice way to end up your day with my story. If you allow me, I'm gonna tell you a little story that where I came from. Um, I'm originally from Bhutan. My parents and other fellow Bhutanese, they were deported in early 90s because of ethnic background and cultural background that our ancestors were taken to Bhutan and they started living there. However, with the conflict of religious background and ethnic background, they said that you are no longer our citizens. So we ended up being refugees. We were driven away from our country. All our belongings were taken away. I, with my other five siblings, my mom and dad, family of eight, we ended up being in Nepal, the eastern part of Nepal. It was really hard. 2 years of our life there was miserable. We ended up living in riverbank. We unfortunately lose our grandfather there. I don't recall every moments that I spent with him there. But listening to my mom and dad every time, sobbing and telling those stories, how hard it was then. Getting a running water was very tough. Having to go to certain distance away and making sure that we were fed enough to go to bed in the evening time. Those were the challenges. Survival, another issue. Medical facilities, 911, it is just imagine like just out of our dreams. However, with the help of UNHCR, UNO, and some other organization, which I feel that I owe my life to those organizations, if they weren't there to support us, I wouldn't be alive here in front of you guys talking like this. We lived there for 20 years in small bamboo cottage, and I recall that my house, which I was asked to say, wasn't this big enough. It was half of this, and then 8 of us used to live together. It was really difficult. Every moment, every situation, every other second was a challenge. I recall when I was in grade 3, I was crying to ask my mom for a pencil, and then she said that, no, you wouldn't get it right now because we didn't have enough money to afford for a pencil. It was really tough. We were provided ration by the UNHCR, and mom had to save certain amount of rice just to sell it and get some amount of money to pay for my pencil. That was really tough situation. And knowing that, and getting to know that how hard life we have been going through, there were no choices every time. And when I write my bio there, I mentioned that we were kept as animals in the zoo. Certainly, yes, it was the truth, because we were kept into certain area. At around 7 o'clock, you should be inside the house. If you're gone outside, then you risk your life on your own. There is insecurity, in challenges there all the time. And I was listening from the back, you guys saying about, urban areas and rural areas, smaller community, where the refugees or immigrants can fit better. Personally, I feel that if there is a safe and secure place for people like me, it would be the paradise. It would be the heaven to live in. I always felt the same way since I came here in Newfoundland. I was given the sense of belongingness. I was accepted from the heart, and I felt that all the time. Going back to my story again, I remember when I was in grade 6, one of my neighbor came to me and said that, buddy, you need to go to home. And I didn't know what was happening. I followed the gentleman and went home, and I didn't find my mom. I started crying. What happened to my mom? My mom wasn't there. And I finally learned that my mom was sick. And she had asthma because of pollution. Firewood she had to collect and make food, and that smoke caused her that sickness. I didn't realize that was the sickness that might, have that worse situation for her. Every time when you go and see your mom with your happy face, you see crawling on her bed and just having hard time breathing in and out like this. Those were the moment I spent those 20 years. Receiving monsoon season, you go to bed, you're tired all day playing outside with your friends or somebody, and then feeling that water dripping on your face, realizing that your roof is leaking, and not knowing what to do. And mom comes here with a little lamp, trying to figure out we are safe and secure. My dad was always taken away. I don't remember spending my childhood life with my dad because they were told. They used to tell my dad that, okay, we need to go fight back, therefore we can be able to go back to our country all the time. Never realize him being in our home and supporting our family. My mom is my hero all the time. And even now, she has contributed her entire life to make sure that we get better education, better life. Then she decided that, yes, she never had been to school. At her early age, she was always told that, oh, girls shouldn't go to school because they might turn to witch or something like that. So with that belief that she was never sent to school, however, she managed to send us to school every single day. With a long wait, it was really hard. After my childhood age, I turned to be a youth. Now I started thinking about what next. What is my future? Now I started going around out with my friends, and now you see all my friends being frustrated, using drugs, not knowing what to do, no plans at all for the future, and having to deal with those situations. And still you try to be something different was always a tough thing. However, with the help of IOM, International Organization for Migration, and UNHCR, they helped us to come to Canada. We didn't know that we would come to Canada one day. Dream country, obviously. However, they said that, okay, your mom has severe health problem. Now Canada will be the best country for you to go because the health facility is good there. And we were living the dream. And later, as I said earlier, we never had choices in our lives. And then later, we got a letter saying that we are going to the Newfoundland and Labrador. I didn't know how to even read that. That was a full sentence for me. And now I can proudly say that Newfoundland, my homeland. And then we were thrilled. I started flicking out my pages of Atlas and trying to figure out where really we are going to live, and it was right beside the Atlantic Ocean. I was like, wow, is there survival still? Like not knowing where we are. But I remember August 11, 2011 was my day as I was reborn, I would love to say. Upon my arrival, Association for New Canadians, wonderful people, welcoming, smiles on their faces. They greet me at the airport and brought me to the reception house. It was month of August, as I already said, and the weather was beautiful. Now I can say that it was 18 degrees Celsius. But still I was freezing to death, and I asked someone, would there be any chances for me to get a little warmer? And I never forget in my life that gentleman just flicked the heater and I felt warmth. You don't have to do so much to bring changes into someone's life. It's a small thing right there when you realize small thing that can change someone's life. And it always puts that into their memory, that makes them feel like, wow, I can do that. Surviving in Canada, it was always challenged. No electricity, no heat, light, nothing at all. And coming here, now I'm experiencing different life, different culture, different society, different people. And then here you go. Now I started going around, and trying to figure out how things works. And it is always a challenge to be little educated in your family. Now you're telling your mom and dad as a parent, okay, this is how it works here. And then now they would be, trying to say, hey, you, I told you what to do for your entire life, and now you're teaching me what to do. Family feud. Those challenges we don't realize sometimes. It's really tough. And I remember one day I went to mall, and St. John City is really huge city for me. And going to mall, and then here you go, I'm walking, and the door opens for me. Wow, what a magic! And then going and using washroom, you just place your hand, water falls. Wow, what a magic! Going to certain distance away, kilometers away, and then finding running water for you to drink. And now here you go, you just place your hand and water comes. Isn't that amazing? It's not very easy. And then you see all those challenges, though it's small, but it's a big thing. It surprises all over. And finally, with the ANC, I got so many orientations. I never forget all those orientations, having a bank card, numbers. My life changed to be numbers now. MCP numbers, social insurance numbers, and go to bank and make your bank card. Don't forget that secret number. There should be 4 secret number. No. It shouldn't be your birthday or something birth date or something that somebody can figure it out. And then imagine my mom figuring that out, who never went to school. Those are the challenges we sometimes don't see. Now, I'm very glad with those help and, so many changes, still I managed to go to language school. I didn't have very good English. I still struggle to make sure that, I deliver very good English here. I went to language school. I learned there. And after a year, I think those challenges weren't there anymore. I started serving back. I started helping to people like me, and then I started feeling those needs for the people who came here as a refugee. And I remember that day, Tina, my supervisor, she called me and said, Tilak, would you like to work with us? And I said, Tina, not really, because I applied for college. I wanted to do something. I had some dreams. And then Tina said, why don't you just come and help us, at the time you're waiting for your college? And I said, wow, that's a wonderful idea. And then I went and started working with settlement agency as a settlement assistant. And then my journey started in a different level. I feel so proud. Now I'm helping to those people who are like me every time. And I feel so great. This is my homeland, sense of belongingness. Those things that I left behind are now coming up. I feel that this is my home. I'm secure, I'm safe here. This is my community. I can give back to this community what I felt, what I was given all the time, all my life. And now I work as a Swiss worker, settlement worker in the school system, having to work with different demographic group of people, Syrian refugees, Eritrean refugees, Ethiopian, Iraqi, and some other part of the world. It's amazing journey. It's not like, I want to work with Syrian. You need to change with what circumstances brings you to, what it offers you. I've been so honored every time when I go and represent those thousands of immigrants that whose voices are not being heard, whose difficulties are not being shared. I feel for them. I really truly believe that you guys are the ones who will make that change, and absolutely they are thankful for whatever you're doing from your end. And thank you so much for listening to me this afternoon.